Hello, hello. How are you today? My name is Xavier Roman, the healer and the energist. Today we're going to go ahead and do a quick video. I had some people ask some questions once again, and they just wanted some answers. So they sent me some emails. So I wanted to go ahead and answer some for that person in particular. I mix them up with a couple other questions that someone asked me, just so people can get a little bit of clarity or better clarity, so forth, as far as myself and what I do and how I do things. Okay, so the first question was, who are you? Again, name is Xavier Roman, and I am the healer and the energist. Why the healer and the energist? When I started off doing this, I kept it going. So I started at 5 years old. I kept it going, but I would do it privately. I wouldn't tell anybody about this, family, friends especially. I just didn't want to hear it. And that took a long time for me to get over that hump. I mean, a very long time. But nonetheless, as time went on and as I got older, and I would do it to people and strangers on the street, I would just ask them, especially people who are noticeable that had like injuries with their legs, you seen a limp or something like this. I would always ask, hey, listen, I got this power, and I noticed that you have that limp. How about you give me a try? I don't need to touch you. I'm just gonna sit right here. I think I can fix that. And of course, they would look at me with surprised look, like, yeah, okay, sure you was. Okay, hey, you got nothing to lose. I'm just gonna sit here. I don't need to touch you. And I would do my thing, close my eyes, and get right to it. And by the time I'd open my eyes, I would ask them, hey, how do you feel? And to their surprise, they would be a little weirded out, but they would feel better. They would be in a state of disbelief, and always at the end, wow, you're a healer. What's your number? Who are you? Where do you live? Who are your parents? Who's your mom, your dad, and so forth? Because of course, I was younger, so I would never give up that information, just because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to go back home or any of those things. So I would never give out the information. So the other part of the energist part is most of the people, after I did something for them to help them out with their injuries, maladies, or what have you, most of the strangers that I would do that for, they would always feel good. They would always sort of like say, wow, I feel good too. Wow, I feel energized. Like, oh my God, I feel brand new, and so forth. So that's where the energist part comes from. So that's why I said the healer and the energist. You usually feel good, and you usually feel, of course, better from whatever it is that I'm working on. So how does it work? As you see in the videos, what I do is I make sure the other person's eyes are closed. My eyes are closed. Once my eyes are closed, then I feel like I'm connected with God, with source, with the other side. And I feel like for that moment in time, God connects through me and goes right to that person. And I go right to what's wrong with them based on what they tell me. That's how that works. And then, of course, we open up our eyes, go over what's going on now. How do they feel now? And then we go from there. Okay, tell us about the power you have. Okay, so I think that question is a little bit the same, but what I will say is that I do know for sure, without a doubt, that it is of God. Now, I have heard other people say or make comments, you don't know what it is you're bringing in, this and that, and like, how do you know, and so forth and so forth. And some of the weirdest comments, and like, you just feel so bad for the people. Like, you just know. I mean, like, there's no way a person's able to go ahead and do this and help a person out, especially without touching them and so forth, doing any of those things, and then those great things and good things just happen to them most of the time. Just no other way to explain that, or how you could explain what they're thinking in their head, where they're saying this and that. But I'm sure if it was them, then they'd have a different opinion towards it for whatever reason. But you always get some weird comments or weird thoughts towards myself and towards how I am helping people and how it could be this or that, this and that. But nonetheless, I know it is from God. for sure, without a doubt, 100%. I mean, the feeling is so good. This did start off when I was 5 years old. Yeah, it started off when I was 5 years old, and it's never stopped, and it's only gotten stronger, and it's done some remarkable things, unthinkable things to help people out and so forth, whether it be in hospitals, on the street, people that I deal with on a one-on-one basis, online most of the time, yeah, and so forth. Tell how you got the power or gift. How I got it. I don't think, well, I would like to say that I didn't get it. I had it, how it all happened, and how I knew. I could recall when I was 5 years old, I had been outside. I was on a street corner, and across the street from where I was at, I seen what I appeared to be a mom and a child, but it was a lady and a little boy. They were close to the street corner on the other side, and they were crying. It looks like, I mean, I seen them wiping their tears off, and right away I looked real quick, looked at them. As a little kid, you don't like to see nobody be in pain. You don't like seeing nobody hurt. And unfortunately, we all can't do nothing about it. But at that time, that first time, I did. I closed my eyes, and my intention was to have them feel better, have them feel good, and so forth. So I did close my eyes, and I made my intention that I wanted them to feel better. And I opened my eyes up, probably like about, I want to say when I looked across the street, about 2 seconds after that, they opened their eyes, and they were both looking like that in directions. Like, what was that? So it was the little kid. They weren't looking in the same direction. They were just looking around, but they stopped. They stopped like, man, like I said, in a couple of seconds, they stopped. It was almost like a what hit them type of look. That's how it looked. I could still see it in my mind right now as I tell you, like as if it just happened yesterday. So that was when it first happened, and then I kept on doing it. As time went on, as a little kid, I kept on doing it because after that first time, I always thought when I did that, I was like, "Hey, is that me?" Wow, like I think that was me. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about a 5-year-old here, and I was like, "Wow, was that me?" Like, wow, maybe I have superpowers. Maybe I am a superhero. So, wow, am I a superhero? That was how I thought. What do you think? I mean, what do you expect, 5-year-old? So I kept on doing it as time went on, especially like if I went to the doctor's office or near or by a hospital. If I seen anybody who was looking down, who was looking bad, who wasn't looking good, in pain, had the hunched over thing, so forth, because they weren't feeling so good, I would always do that. I would close my eyes. I'd want them to feel better. And then I would, majority of the time, get that same look as to what was that? What was that? But that feeling that they had going on before went away, and they seemed had a look of surprise and a look of relief, like, wow, should I even be here at the doctor's? Should I even be here at the hospital? Or, the walk was different. They're moving a little bit different because they're feeling better. Well, appeared they were feeling better because they didn't have those same looks. They grunt and everything that went away, especially like at doctor's offices. You could see them from across the way, and I'm with my mom. Of course, she didn't know. I wasn't going to tell her, and she wasn't paying attention, sitting next to me to see if I'm closing my eyes and picking my head up and so forth. So that went on, and then as I got older in high school and so forth, I wouldn't dare do that like I would do it a lot as I was a younger guy. And that stopped too again as I was in college. But every now and then I would still try to go ahead and exercise it and practice, if you want to call it practice. I would still continue to do it with people, especially if they were strangers and I knew they weren't going to see me and I wasn't going to see them and so forth. I would still, always, work with people on that, anywhere out in public. If I knew I had some time, and I was going to sit somewhere anyway, then I would go ahead and do it. But I would never share what I do with anyone, especially friends and family. That was out the question. So I did that until I wanted to go public. So last year on my birthday, last November, that's when I decided, hey, looks like things are getting bad out here with these mortality rates and so forth. And I says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this openly into the public and online. And sure, if I could help them, I'd love to help them. Just put some good effort out there and try to help people. So I did that. And from November, December, January, we worked on getting stuff out there online and everything we had to do to go ahead and prepare and so forth. And then finally, then we went to January and February, March. I think it was like around March, and boom, it came out. And I was offering it to people for free, and it would work. It would work online, like you see me right now, and helped a ton of people. And got a lot of footage on that. If you look at the older videos and so forth, so we got a lot of that, and it continues on. And now I don't mind helping people openly
without worrying about the talk and the criticism and the silliness and the
It's just silliness. I don't worry about that no more. I'm at a good place where the helping of people, it overcomes any of the negativity that may possibly come along with it. There's not a lot, just a very, very little. And then there's the people who just come right out and say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And so forth. So the positivity always trumps the negativity and so forth. So yeah, and so ever since I've been doing it openly, wow, I've seen a ton of miracles. I mean, like, I am. It never gets old. It never gets old. But I am astounded at times. I never take it for granted. But I always like seeing people get better right there and then. Although sometimes there are times when it's not able to help them. That's not a lot, but there are some times, and that does get a little bit frustrating for myself. It does get a little frustrating because I want to help everybody, and I know usually when I do a session with somebody, they feel it. They feel it. They feel it right away. They feel it right away. They feel it during.
And when we're done, there's usually a good effect, sometimes a great effect, and at times a miracle, and so forth. So
yeah, it is worth it. It is worthwhile. And as time goes on, I always see some miraculous things happen. And I enjoy the miracles. I enjoy going to the hospitals to help people out, ICUs, helping people during emergency situations, helping people, whether if I could just see them in hospitals and help them out just like that, as long as I can see your eyes and we could be on the phone, it works. It works. So yeah, so a lot of great things that I've seen and that I've been able to capture. Yeah, and we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to capture. Pretty soon, we're going to be doing some stuff in public with people on the streets and so forth.
I'm sure people are going to love that. And for me, I'm just going to love the
being able to see their reactions when they're helped and so forth. I always love that. I always like seeing people get better. But in public, that's a good different thing. That's a good different thing that I really enjoy doing. Okay, tell how you help people with your power. I think I kind of went over that already, but I just go through the same thing. I help them by connecting and being able to go ahead and give that good energy to those people. Sometimes they give that moment in time when God can connect or does connect through me to that person. Because what else could give a person these miraculous benefits right at that moment, very quickly, almost instantaneously? I don't make no doubts about that, and so forth. Yeah, and that's about it. I just wanted to share those questions with you guys, and for the actually the couple of people that asked those questions and so forth, just wanted to share that. Oh, one more question. What was it like as far as with your biography and how you were able to help your mom? Okay, good question. Good question. So when I did something major, it was in 2005 with my mom. She had gotten into an automobile accident, and it was kind of a touch and go situation at the time. Meaning, I could remember the doctor giving us some real bad news that this might not be so good, and so forth. And the way how I could feel things, and especially at that time, I can remember like it was yesterday. I was like, oh, okay, she's not going nowhere. She'll be okay. So as she was in there, I was able to really go ahead and connect and really go ahead and help her. And I just seen a lot of miraculous things at that time in the hospital to help her, and it gave me a better feeling of how great this is, how great this gift is, and how I could help people and so forth. But then as time went on, I still didn't go ahead and open the doors to letting everybody know, as far as with the public, with helping people in the public. But in 2010, I had had my own episode. I had had surgery, and then after the surgery, I got an infection, and then I went back to the hospital for second emergency surgery, and I needed to have something done right away. Otherwise, I wasn't going to make it. So during the surgery, I went ahead and came out of my body, and I seen them perform the surgery, and I heard them, and I listened to them, and I just stood witness to watching while they did it. And yeah, that was like as if it was this morning. I mean, the way how I could still see it to this day. And so while that happened, while I witnessed that, then boom, I went to the other side and met loved ones and met God. Yes, yes. I came face to face. Well, I won't say face to face, but I came in the presence of that source of God, whatever you may want to call it, or call the force. And at that time, I mean, what was talked about or communicated, I'll say what was communicated, then I knew. I knew what was in store for me, or what I could do, and how better I could be with this to help more people and so forth. But after that happened, I still didn't go ahead and move forward and come out in the public to help people. I kept it at that, didn't say nothing, but I mean, it's still the experience, especially standing at the side in the surgery room and just witnessing and watching them and seeing a little bit of the panic and so forth. That was a sight. That was a sight. I still could see that as if it was this morning, not even yesterday, like as if it was like this morning. It seems so surreal. So after then, I mean, I still carried that with me, but I got more validation. I got more validation from there. And then as time went on, I would still go ahead and do it with people who didn't know me, and I still wouldn't share my story. But I did share it with a couple of people, like what happened in the hospital, so forth. So I did do that. Yeah, but that just made everything stronger. That made everything strong. I know that for sure because I remember. I'll never forget. As soon as I opened my eyes, when I came out of that surgery room and I was in the post-operation room, I'll never forget how that was, and experience of what was said and the validation and the nurses telling me this and that. And wow, that just made everything stronger. And that was that. That was that. So hopefully that helped you guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to go ahead and reach out. Be sure to comment, like, and share. And I'll go ahead and answer your questions the best I could. And if you wanted to see more, if you like more, feel free to go to the website. That's www.xavierroman.com. That's XAVIERROMAN.com. XavierRoman.com. All right, guys. Well, you have a good night. Hopefully that helped you guys out, so it can give you a little more clarity of who I am, what I do, and a little bit how things work and how they worked in the past and how everything connected and how things go. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and I will see you soon. And don't forget, on Thursdays, we on our Facebook under Xavier R. Roman, we usually do our free healing session. So we usually do 2 sessions throughout the time limit. It's usually at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on our Facebook page. You could get on there and you could come on and you'll definitely get a benefit. So just go ahead and get on there. Let me know what's going on with you, and then we'll be sure to go ahead and try to address that. All right, guys. Well, thank you for having me, and hopefully that helps you out. And I will see you guys soon. Take care and have a good night or day. Bye now.